I'm always ready.
All set, Mr. Chair.
All right.
Good afternoon. We're now going to call the Wednesday, October 12th, 2022 meeting of the Norfolk County Commissioners to order. On Thursday, March 12th, 2020, Governor Charles Baker issued an order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20. That order was effective immediately and until it is rescinded or a state of emergency is terminated. On July 17th, 2022, by action of the legislature, that order was extended till March 31st, 2023. We are live and on Zoom today. I'm going to ask everyone to take a moment and join me in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I want to call the roll. Commissioner Stady,
And pleased to be here.
Oh, present.
Commissioner Collins,
Present.
Commissioner Shea is present. We have a quorum. County Director John Cronin is present, and he's going to join us via Zoom. So we are ready to go. Item number 3, minutes of the open session meeting on October 5th, 2022 for approval.
I have to abstain.
Okay, I'll make the motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
2-0. Thank you. Number 4 is the public comment section. Each week on our agenda, we allow some time for public comment. Is there anyone out in Zoom land or has any public comment? Again, last call for public comment. Thank you. Number 5, we have no appointments today. Number 6, old business, I have none. Number 7, personnel matters for consideration. We have 3. One at the school, one at the registry, and one in county.
Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I'll move at the Norfolk County Aggie High School, notice of resignation, Bradley Niziak of Walpole as substitute instructor at the rate stated effective 10/6/22. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Next.
At the Registry of Deeds, Mr. Chairman, notice of appointment of Caroline of Foxborough, senior clerk, at the rate stated effective 10/17/22. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor? Aye. It is a vote. And we have a county family leave application. The name is withheld.
All right.
I believe we still have to do a motion to approve it.
Do we, is there any backup move person?
I have no backup. I just,
The commissioners, the information has been cycled through our human resources director. In the past, we've tried to keep the names out of play to respect the HIPAA law.
Okay, is there,
If you like the names, I can get them to you.
no, just, I want you to make the appropriate motion. I would move that the county commissioners grant the family medical leave approval for an employee whose name and information is on record in HR.
It is known to our HR director and has been approved by our HR. Correct.
All right, how's that?
Second.
motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Number 5, payroll and expense warrants for approval.
All right, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
We have 4. I'll move the following. Item 2315, the county payroll, the amount of $140,712.03. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
Next, 10-02-23, the expense of the county. I'll move the approval of $35,258.16. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
Third, line 23-16, an opera award at long last
Town of
for the
Stoughton.
town of Stoughton. Move approval for the town of Stoughton to receive $5,447,907. So moved.
To be explained by the county director in a minute.
Are they coming in?
All in favor?
Not today.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're scheduling we're working on a scheduling.
And I've been waiting for a long time for that. That's great. That's great news. And last one, Mr. Chairman, 23-16, opera award to Walpole, the amount of $350,000.
Second.
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
Quick
Thank you.
question, if I could. Are we going to get back up on what those are for? I'm sure we have some, probably in the packet,
It's
right?
in the packet, and
Okay,
John's
great.
going to explain.
Right, okay, sounds good.
Under number 15.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Or actually, we can do it under number, no. We're gonna do it under number 9, opera warrants for approval.
Oh, there it is.
Director Cronin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Commissioners. This afternoon, you've approved 2 ARPA awards, one for the town of Stoughton totaling $5.447 million. As Commissioner Stady indicated, this is their first award and frankly, their last award. They took their entire county tranche. They're applying it to a renovation of a project that Commissioner Stady and I learned about. I think it was much earlier this year when we met in Stoughton with the town administrator, town manager at the time. Stoughton is renovating a former fire station and they're converting it into a emergency operations and public health facility. The amount of money that the county is distributing under this award covers virtually the entire cost. I believe there's an additional $1 million that'll be covered by the town of Stoughton. So this amount will pay for the establishment of a emergency operations and public health facility in the town of Stoughton. The second award is to the town of Walpole. You've seen them previously. They have been very active. They're looking to replace components within water meters across their system to ensure more accurate accounting of water resources within the town of Walpole. This award totals $350,000. With these awards, the commissioners have now awarded over $35 million in ARPA funds.
Wow.
Excuse me, and over 112 applications have now entered the portal. So we remain very active, and in a few minutes, I'll give you an update on how that compares with the other counties within Massachusetts. Thank you.
Any questions of Director Cronin? Do we have any folks from either Stoughton or Walpole with us today?
No, Commissioner. Mark Tisdale, who's the acting town manager, indicated that he was going to coordinate a visit with Selectman Krisky for a time in the upcoming week or two that's convenient to all parties for a suitable check presentation, as well as an in-person discussion about the effects of this money on their project. So we'll be Mr. Tisdale was elated with the award and told us he'd get back to us as soon as he hears from Selectman McCrisky.
Okay.
That's great.
Commissioner Stady.
Just on I noticed I gave several awards last week and I had asked for a breakout. Maybe you could just give me that when you get time. When you feeling
I
better?
think it's in the packet from last week.
Is it? Okay, then
It is in
that's
the
what I
packet.
need. All right. If I have any question, I'll follow up, John. Thank you.
Absolutely, anytime.
I thought there were like 4 or 5.
Okay.
There were. And actually, Commissioner Shea, if I could just add one more point to the remarks. You are going to be busy over the next week or two with additional ARPA awards. Currently, I have 3 looming that total nearly $1 million. A fourth that is at level 2 of the town of Westwood, which by itself would be another $1 million. So more awards coming, at least 3, possibly 4 within the next week. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Great.
That's what it's for.
Good. Thank you.
Okay, this concludes opera per week later. We do have a bid award, but that's at 1:30, so we'll go by. And we have our county engineer with us today. So Patrick, why don't you come up under number 12?
Okay.
Update on Norfolk County Engineering Department, and then would you stay with us for 13, which is request and correspondence from Mass DOT.
Okay. Hey, Commissioner. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Patrick Higgins, good to see you.
So I just kind of gave a recap and submitted a list of projects for municipal, the towns that we've been working on in the past year. And there's a small, probably a group of about eight projects that we worked on. I don't know if you want me to go through each list, but the each one of these that included field work, research, and usually, either a right-of-way plan or a topographic existing conditions plan be submitted. Some of them are 2 parts where we worked on the project earlier in the year, like I'll touch on Canton. We came in and they put a request in for drain easement to be laid out in an as-built because they're having an issue on that private property where the public drain easement was. We did that job last January, February, and ended in March. The town reached back out to us again in August and said they needed a new drain easement at this time. So we redrafted a new easement with the town, and it's going to fit the drainage work that'll be repaired. So that the previous drain easement and the work that was installed didn't line up and wasn't in sync. So we're working with the town to help them lay out and put it in where the resident wants it to be located. So we had to change the easement plan. So the previous easement that the private surveyor had done will be extinguished, and then new drain easement will be create the new easement on private property for the town. So that's a quick one. Bellingham, we finished last spring. I went to town meeting. And I think that was previously discussed at a previous commissioners meeting. Dover, they want us to come back. In 2009, we had done existing conditions along the bank of the Charles River for to study what the erosion, if they needed erosion control and stabilization of the bank due to the river. It's at an oxbow where it undermines the bank, and there's some collapse. So we surveyed it in 2009. They put a request in, we'll talk about later, for us to resurvey it so they can see what the comparison is since 2009 to 2022, to see if they have to go for funding and put shoring in place along the bank. It's next to Main Street in Belden Road, Norfolk. We're working on a 1.5 mile long street right away survey. It's currently a variable width private way. The town wants us to, it's between Main Street and Medway Street. The town, we had done work out there about 10 years ago, topographic existing conditions to help them put grading and guardrails in. And at this time, they want a full set of plans to actually accept the private way as public. So we have to do a survey so we can know what each easement area will be taken by from all the abutting parcels along the private way. Walpole, we did a 2-acre survey in a small topo for an area that's going to be used for in the future public new launch. That one's completed in the spring. Westwood, we had a resident and a private land surveyor request that we retrace the right of way on Hartford Street due to a lack of the ability for them to find monuments since a lot of the houses have been developed and built along the roadway. So that's ongoing. We're going to reach out to the town of Westwood and ask them if they want to work with us to reset the monuments. Then those are the projects for the towns. I have a couple of new requests I'll talk about later. And then a lot of the county projects, pretty heavy on those this year. The biggest one being across the street for the drainage. Last fall and winter permitting through DEP and Conservation Commission to get an order and additions to allow us to repair the drainage that wasn't functioning correctly on private property. Through the summer, we put bid specs together in May into June. Went out to bid in June. It was awarded. We worked through July to sequence with the contractor and Nancy Rockwell vetted out and made sure everything, the bond and everything was all set and the insurance. Construction started August 15th and then pretty much wrapped up. They're working on finalizing the punch list today in the field. And plantings are in, it's been seeded. And then we have to wait till the April or May with conservation for to get a release once everything's stabilized and growing. The bushes and trees and replication plantings are all been put in. We have a 1-year warranty on the plantings to make sure that it's still good in the year. Hilltop Farm, we finished what had already been started before I came here. It was 70-acre boundary survey in topo. And we went through, we hired a consultant and we went through abbreviated resource area determination to receive an ORAD. And basically that confirms in the topography at the hilltop where the resource areas are. So moving forward, we know that everything's protected and know where they are. And the Conservation Commission issued us the ORAD and it's been filed at the registry.
Is any of that, if I may, is any of that involved proposed solar projects at all? Do you know?
This is all just
Right?
existing conditions of the sites.
Of the site.
People may use it for in the future for their planning on where things could go.
Okay,
Yeah, not a part of,
it's not part of the project of that.
it could be
Oh, could be.
in the future, yeah. So what we did is we defined where the resource areas were
Okay,
so people can plan accordingly
I
in
got
the
it.
future.
Right. Okay, thank you.
And then Hilltop Farm, we worked with the town of Walpole Water Department to lay out the cross-country water easement that the town had concerns on where it was located. And they had a difficult time finding the water main, but eventually through doing various test pits and us marking out the easement on the ground, they were able to recover their water mains and a lot of the water gates and things over the years, people had, through the plowing and the haying, and they had lost the location. So they have witness posts now and ties to where the water mains are across country. The top one, we were asked to prepare analysis of the solar photovoltaic overlay districts in town. We did research in comparison of all the spots in town and gave an analysis of that and submitted an affidavit to the county council. I was in July. Agricultural High School at the off of Fisher Street. So years ago, we had surveyed the 202 acres. This one included a topographic survey. Same thing, we had the resource areas delineated and updated through this year, so that all the resource areas are known on the ground for any future planning. So we did, since the school renovation project, about, I think, maybe 10 years ago, we updated the base map that we had, and it's more of a schematic at this point, and it's been going to be used for enhancing traffic safety improvements for vehicular traffic and pedestrian traffic and where they crisscross on campus. So we commissioned and hired a traffic engineer to review the schematic plan of where things are. They've also been working on doing a traffic study. We have a few tasks for them to do, but we're going to be working with the school to kind of analyze improvements. And then the next part would be going to like a design phase and getting estimates to actually implement some of these suggested traffic improvements. And then we also did a parking lot survey for at the administration where they need to put a guardrail in. District Court, as part of the transition, we provided county council with title and background information that was in record deeds and plans of when the property was purchased. Wallaston Recreation, we had existing survey that we had done a few years ago, and it gave it out to the consultants for the playground area to use for basis for design improvements and for the playground. So the plan for the proposed sign, we tried to permit through Mass DOT, was unsuccessful. Mass DOT worked back and forth with County Council, and Mass DOT Council was able to show that the state had taken the fee where the existing sign is, and most of the area where the sign would want to be along Granite Ave. So we worked with Kyle Miner, the director of Wollaston and the President's Golf Course, to find another location that's on county property. And Kyle Miner is working with Mass DOT. He has a connection for working to get a few of the trees that are in between the fence and the roadway removed. And then once those are out of the way, then I suggest we wait till we get the trees out of the way before we pull a permit to put the sign in. I don't think it would, I thought it would make more sense to wait till we actually got the trees, Mass DOT to get the trees down and be more prudent that way. We also did, while we were working on for the sign, we did a fence location along Granite Ave of the chain link fence that is in some areas is deteriorated and it's been damaged, I think, from plowing in a couple locations. We located the length of it. We worked with Kyle Manor at a later date to get estimates on what it would take to replace the fence. Also, the fence meanders between the county property. It goes in the county property and along the fairway. It's along the right of way. And it's also in the right of way of Mass DOT. So if we were to place the sections in the Mass DOT right of way, we'd have to work through permitting with them to replace it. So we can't just outright replace the fence because it's in there right away. So we'd have to get a permit through them. So interesting. And then the last one was we're working on the 15th fairway at Wollaston. We're working on a boundary survey, topography survey, existing conditions with existing utilities that are in East Squantum Street for a possible bathroom, prefabricated bathroom that would be installed with utilities for water, sewer, and electric. And I think it's going to be a standalone prefab that could have come in and we excavate, and they put a prefab foundation in, and then it comes in one piece already plumbed, ready to go, makes the connections to the utilities.
Just out on the fairway itself?
It's where the tee off area is. It's not in the fairway. It's an area that Carl
Did
has.
he put that in?
designated.
I'm sorry.
It's in the budget.
Is it in the budget?
Yeah,
Okay.
We are still researching the buildings in different areas and working
That's
with
right, he
the
mentioned that.
procurement officer.
And the
Like a
paving
three-phase.
starts next week, which I'm going
Right.
to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, Pat. Yeah.
We'll work on getting pricing. I'm not sure if what's budgeted so far is going to cover that, but, so the last part is, going to petitions. And so we have an ongoing petition that's started a year ago. That's on Page Street in Stoughton.
God.
So I am working with county council. He's going to be available in November for hearings. And then so I'm going to send a request into Director Cronin to work with the commissioners on setting up dates that everybody will be available, including county council in November. The plan is all set. It's already been received. The petition's all set. And that's just awaiting setting up notices and dates and publishing them. So that should move ahead in November.
Okay.
I did, when I finally had that, I reached out to Selectman McCristy and the town engineer, Mark Tisdale, and let them know that
Good.
2 weeks ago. So
That's great. Thank you.
it's been in Foxborough, we have a new one that's going to be submitted soon. I've been working most of the year since the spring with the town's consultant to prepare that it's going to be a discontinuance and a layout and a transfer of land is going to be their request. So based off a previous request that is similar to that, then it'll be reviewed by county council and then before it moves ahead and we work out dates. The last one for petitions was in Randolph. That one we finalized it at the beginning of the summer. It had been outstanding, and we had worked to get the last two outstanding releases from two abutters that could finally allow the discontinuance to move forward. And all criteria have been met, and the stipulations were met, so that we could file the order of return, and that's all been recorded. Land court. So land court, a year ago, we did the one for Mr. Didi out in Weymouth.
Oh, yeah.
That's been completed. And then the new one that's come in that I'll be submitting once county council reviews it. I've been working with the town of Sharon since May, I think it was May into June. We went out and did a survey of two county layouts, East Prospero Street and Beach Street near Massapog. And it was a pretty large survey that we stopped and did right away for the town because they had at the beginning process with their consultants, opening up a land court case 1191-16. So we reviewed the plan. We went out, we traced both right of ways, and then made suggestions and worked with the court and the consultant to adjust the survey. The result is that the land court had them file a new plan to the court. And that they're asking ahead of time for the county commissioners to assent to the locations of the county layout. It's the first time since the 1945 taking of East Foxborough Street that the case has been opened. So they're going to adjust the right of way along East Foxborough Street on the land court plan per our recommendation. And county council will review, and then county council will I make a suggestion that he write a limited assent that I support. And then we'll present it to the commissioners at a later time, but it came in this week, so hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll move that. And then the last one is the Mass DOT attestations and receipts that they request as they do takings, and we're required to file them and then give them a receipt that they've been filed in records of the county commissioners. That's the list. Sorry for the going for that.
Any questions or comments, commissioners?
Are you done or is there more?
That's
Yeah.
all the projects so far. Yes.
We've got another agenda item, but
Yeah.
we may award the contract first and let Patrick stay, but we get 5 more minutes for questions.
It's thorough, it's complete.
Yeah.
Well done, as always. Good to hear Stoughton's in the loop. That's the only thing I hear about. When I hear all my friends in Stoughton, I hear two things. When are we getting the ARPA money and when are we going to get Page Street? Right in this.
Well, you're having a big day
Yeah,
today.
they're going to be quiet for a
Can
while.
answer
How would
both
they,
questions.
that check for ARPA will calm them down, but that was that a delay? Was it just a problem you couldn't get together with council, or was it just was Stoughton changing things on you? What happened? That was back in May of 21. I remember that.
No, well, we,
Remember that.
last fall, we focused on the town did its own discontinuance.
Right.
So when we met with the consultant, we worked through the fall and waited for the town to discontinue there's a triangular piece next to Page Street.
Right.
They did that in December, and then at the same town meeting in December, we were on hold until they voted to approve it. And then later, the letter came in, and town council, and we noted that it was received. So we had a lot of, but I think everybody's been very busy, so it's been hard to get to every project. So I work
Okay.
harder to get
All
these
right.
things to the forefront.
Great job. By you and your group. Great job.
Yeah, really, the guys are doing a great job. We did hire a new surveyor last December. He's doing a great job, really young, ambitious, already took a class at UMaine online last year. So we're still surveying it's almost like an apprenticeship. So there's a lot of training to go before people go on their own. Usually it's within a year or a year and a half to 2 years, you do a lot of training with the more senior guys, and then you can kind of go out and get all the basics down. There's a lot of different types of surveys. So it takes time, but he's doing a really good job. We're happy to have him.
Good.
Um,
Let's keep them too for a few years.
yeah.
We train him and he leaves us. But no, it's good. That's good.
So did you want me to discuss the Mass DOT at this time, or wait till
We got a bid at one
No,
thing.
no, wait,
Oh, wait, okay.
because I
You guys-
believe that there's some contractors here and I don't want to have them wait.
Yeah.
But that's at 1:30. But I've got one more question,
Yes,
Patrick. I noticed that you monitor and work on some of these golf course issues. We awarded a paving contract for the whole place because paving is way overdue, but I'm told it's starting next week. Is that something that you would normally weigh in on or look at, or do we ever check vendors or?
Nancy checks the vendors out for procurement. I think we just touched base with some of the recommendations that were in the requirements for the paving and the depth maybe, or.
Okay, yeah, okay.
it's
So,
really
so
good.
I'm told it's starting next week because they're gonna start and do one side by the court, by the tennis court and the pickleball court and the new playground first. So everyone will move to the back, golfers, if it's a particularly good golf day, it'd be crowded. And then they're gonna go down into the main parking lot, and move everyone to the new parking lot. So if you normally go there, I encourage that because this is a new vendor to us, not that, it looks very good. He passed muster, et cetera, the Norwood-based company. But we pushed them to get it done before they close the plant, so we're told it's done.
It's the perfect time of year for paving. It's not so hot,
Right.
it'll cool off, and it's the perfect time of year for paving. Everybody waits till September, October.
I know they're busy and I'm sure he's gonna want to move fast too, but for us, paving's been it's long overdue. So between paving and striping, it's gonna make a big difference.
Plus the street was redone.
The street is
It's gonna
completely,
look like a
well, you see it if you haven't been
great
down there.
driving.
He put granite, he being the mayor, we worked something out, so we're gonna, he was involved with the playground as the state gave us some money, and we're going way out on the playground. It's gonna be state of the art. It's gonna be up in a couple of weeks, so. It's kind of a facelift there, and believe me, it needs it. I know you know that.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay, quick follow-up question on number
Sure.
20, item 20. You had something about the fence. It's going to be located in some part and a different part and
Yep.
right away.
So
Do we have to put it in the right of way? Can we avoid DOT and just put it on our own land if we want?
yes, but to actually remove the old one, you still need a permit to remove the old one. So if we're gonna do that,
All right.
the way the existing fence is, it goes around, comes up behind the sidewalk and the guardrail where there's a wetland area, so you wouldn't actually build where the right of way is. You'd be going through the wetlands. So I think it'd be easier to actually just replace it where it is.
Okay.
And there's one gate for access that he has in the middle.
You don't know what hole that is roughly. do you?
I do not. No.
Okay, no, I'll check that
I
out.
don't actually.
Interesting.
I don't play golf. So
I don't
that's it.
either. Really, I do. I might, but I keep saying that. All right, that's good. Thank you.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman.
Patrick,
Thank
out
you.
of the hot seat, we'll bring
I'll
Nancy
be
in.
back.
but
All right.
Don't leave, you'll be back.
Thanks, Pat.
Okay, 1:30, we have a bid opening for gutters and downspouts at the Brookline Municipal Court.
We have one bid from Greenwood Industries out of Worcester, Mass. They bid $373,000. And for alternate one, add $8,000. Alternate one is for fascia boards that might be rotted to be replaced. That is the only bid we've received.
What's the name of the company again?
Greenwood Industries, they're out of Worcester, Mass.
We have a motion to take under advisement,
Yeah.
and do we have a timetable on this, Nancy? Is this something?
A month, it'll be more than within a month. That's our
Okay.
normal timetable.
Okay.
I suppose they do work in the winter, correct?
Yeah, will I give them enough time to
Yes.
get it done? In
Yeah,
work
she
in
said
November?
yes.
Okay, good. Don't worry about
Prospective
that.
vendor.
All right, I move that we take under advisement the bid recommendation received this date for Greenwood
Industries.
Industries, the amount of 372,000 with an 8,000 alternate.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, we'll be back when the due diligence is done. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Bid opening done, contract award none. Patrick, come on back for number 13. Review of engineering department project requests and correspondence from Mass DOT. We have in our packet a request from DOT in the town of Sharon. Verify right away on East Beach Street, East Foxborough Street, Beach Street, and for land court filing for town of Sharon. This is pretty standard stuff.
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
Mass DOT ones, I looked through them, these takings for Mass Highway for right-of-way alterations, takings on highway layouts for the town, they're for temporary easements for grading and removal of equipment. They're for underground easements for public utilities, and they're I think basically some of it's temporary easements, but these have already occurred. The state's already submitted these, and this is part of their follow-up required filing with the county commissioners in the county that the towns are located in.
And there's a second one behind it regarding Holbrook.
Yeah, so this is layout 8747 and East Main Street, and 28 was the one in Avon. Then layout 8759 is along South Franklin Street, Route 37 in Holbrook. And they attach their request for that receipt for both.
Okay, so you'll tackle those and keep us abreast of what we have to do.
So if the commissioners are okay with those two, if they could take a vote to sign the receipt, that would be great.
Okay,
I don't know if that's
yeah, that's proper. I mean, we want to hold them up, right? If you're happy, we're
so
happy, I'm safe to say.
it,
The paperwork is here.
I knew the person who worked on it. It had been a while since they'd done one because it came in as Chairman Collins, and I know that was a few years ago.
Wow.
So I worked here when that was the case, but it's been a 05, 04 or something. So I reached out to them and they changed and updated.
The golden year.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, well,
Which project are we doing first?
we want to, we need a motion for the first one. And then we need a motion for the town of Sharon too.
So I move the Norfolk County Commissioners, upon review, vote to authorize Chairman Shea to sign the attestation page and acknowledge receipt of and certify the filing of the said Mass DOT plans, ratifications, and instruments in Norfolk County Commission records, as outlined and presented in the memo dated September 26, 2022.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
All right.
It is a vote. I'm going to sign right now.
Thank you.
Patrick, thank you.
For the town of Sharon request, when the project came in, I wasn't sure how much work we were going to get into back in May and June. So I discussed this project a little bit earlier, but we spent quite a bit of time retracing both county layouts and staking out where all the bounds were and that we could find on the ground that exists today. And then we did our best interpretation between the existing layout and the bounds. And this is a follow-up request from the town for that work. And now it's moved to the point where the consulting land surveyor for the congregation Ada and Sharon is the whole reason the land court case is being opened is so they can do a land swap with the town of Sharon for their future fire station, I believe. So the town of Sharon and the congregation Ada and Sharon will be sending a request into the county commissioners for a limited assent for the location of the county layouts. So our field work is pretty much done now. It's just a matter of processing with land court in the county commissioners.
Where's that gonna be? Where is it? Really? I mean,
It's off I'm not sure where the new fire station's gonna be. I just know where this is located. The land court that we're working on is off of Harding Street in East Rockville Street near Massimo.
there you go. I thought so.
The new fire station is right next to the old one, isn't it? Right near town hall.
Yeah, I think they had to use a land swap for conservation land.
Oh,
So they are doing a land swap. So the land is going to be designated, I think, given to the town for conservation land that's next to the congregation Ada, Sharon, and it would be equal land swap or something like
Excellent.
that. Our focus was mainly on the land court. So that's the project in Sharon. And then the project request from Dover is from the DBW director and the town manager. And that's the project I discussed earlier about a follow-up from 2009, just to see how much of the bank has actually collapsed since 2009 and see if they have to put shoring in along the base of the hill. It's pretty sandy and it's amazing. We did the survey a long time ago. I was actually down on the rowboat with the fire department, locating the bank of the shore. And I don't know if I could climb the hill. Like it's a sheer drop, but Mike Jordan worked on that project doing the survey years ago, and it's off of Main Street, and there's a bound at the front, and the boundary line between two private residences, and we're doing the bank down below, and at a certain distance, it's supposed to be a stone monument at the top of the hill. When we staked it out, and that's out in the air, there's a big massive oak tree, like 48-inch oak tree that's like leaning 45 out over the river there, and we're like, oh, there's no bound, it's gone.
Wow.
So later, that's when working up on top. Later on, I'm in the boat down below, and we're topoing the detail, and I look up, and over the years, the hill has, as it's slowly collapsing, the bound was actually sticking out horizontally
Wow.
because the bank had been
Sure.
eroding, so
Yeah.
the stone bound was actually sticking out. So it's kind of a neat thing you don't see all the time when you're
Yeah.
retracing things from 100 years
Any
ago.
pictures of that? That would be great.
Yeah, we have.
That's a great to look at.
So, yes.
When you lose a bound, do you replace it? What's the procedure on that?
It
If
depends.
you can't find it,
It depends on what we're doing, like
Yeah.
that Hartford project we're working on due to construction and new sidewalks by the town.
right.
We retrace the layout and then we'll work with the town to see if they can supply the bounds and the labor, and we'll stake out the bounds and have them reset the county layout bounds
I see.
and supervise that.
Yeah.
So we don't have the staff as much, like, to do the labor. So I would prefer to have the towns work with that when we do it. If we're doing a boundary survey, like the 2-acre job we did in Walpole, we set iron rods at the corners and drill holes in the stone walls for the conservation, for the canoe landing there. So
Yeah.
those are things we can do, but the bounds I tend to shy away from because they're pretty heavy to be hauling out in the woods. So those two projects, it's just wanted to review and have, if you wanted to approve those, move forward. One we've already worked on. I thought it was pertinent to move ahead, not to hold up the town of Sharon back at the time. Peter O'Kane, the town engineer, had reached out to me, and Attorney Allen, who's the county town council.
okay, why don't we have a motion if you're ready?
I'm looking for
Commissioners, to proceed on
I
the
want to move on it. Trying to
one
find
on
it.
Land Court, which is town of Sharon, then a second motion on one town of Dover relative to topic.
So would it be to
Motion to proceed. I guess.
motion to proceed with Sharon
Proceed, yeah.
with the work described by our engineer this date? That's sufficient?
Sure.
That's a motion seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next one to proceed in the town of Dover. The topic.
I know that is true. So motion to proceed for the commissioners authorized proceeding with the project in the town of Dover as described.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Patrick,
Okay.
proceed.
Get out the boats. the
Thank you,
boots.
that was a great report.
Thank you for your time.
Interesting
you.
story. Good job, Pat. Nice to see you.
Good.
Great job.
Take care.
Yeah.
Call me next time we go to Ireland. I can't believe you went without me.
It won't be for a while, but there could be a return.
Yeah.
All right. What a trip.
Commissioners, we're on number 15, report on American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Director Cronin.
Briefly, Commissioners, in addition to the information I shared a moment ago about the two grants that were awarded this afternoon, just wanted to let you know that this past week we had our monthly Quad County meeting with Barnstable, Bristol, and Plymouth. Norfolk County, for your information, continues to lead the way on the number of applications and dollars spent. We were alerted that Plymouth County is not very active, and the commissioners and treasurer down in Plymouth County will be meeting shortly to discuss the possible use of the revenue loss category for communities within Plymouth County. You have already allowed the release of revenue loss monies on a proportionate basis to the communities in Norfolk County. Plymouth had elected not to offer that option to the communities previously, and they're revisiting that now to try to entice the communities to get more active with their awards. Other than that, things are trending quite well for Norfolk County overall. We sent out a letter to all the communities last week following your vote to increase the allotment of funds from 50 to 75%. That really greatly expands the available amount of cash communities could use from this grant going forward. And then finally, Clifton Larson has alerted us that they have completed their internal production of a procurement video. Previously, I'd informed the commissioners that this tool, which we hope to launch on our website along with the other 3 counties, will help our communities understand the procurement guidelines associated with the final rule and how obligations can be met, what certain obligations are that can travel beyond December 31st, 2024. So we're looking for some clarity through this video to help everybody understand the same rule, and we're hopeful to have it up on our website in the next week or so. So overall, pretty good. And one last side note, we were scheduled to meet as commissioners and treasurers on October 28th in Plymouth County. Respectfully, the Plymouth County folks are looking to defer that meeting date into November 18th specifically, which is a Friday. The Plymouth County treasurer has undergone some surgery, and while the surgery itself was successful, he is dealing with a protracted recovery that was not expected. So he would not be available, and he's looking to respectfully ask if that meeting through you can be extended until November 18th. And that would be in Plymouth around lunchtime. Lunch would be provided.
Okay, so I was just going to bring that up. So the meeting's put up till November 18th.
Which is a Friday. Yep.
I gotta get back to you. I don't know if it's,
Okay,
I don't know yet, but I'll let you know.
that's a busy time. It's a week before
It's
Thanksgiving.
crazy,
I wonder we'll be in America's hometown. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else for John? Anything else on the ARPA commissioners?
Nice job.
Nice job. Get better, John.
Thank you.
Okay, number 16, report of the county director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A few updates for you. Commissioner Shea was just remarking about the condition of the Wollaston recreational facility regarding paving and so forth. Just an alert that, as you probably know, our capital plan calls for the paving of the parking lots up at Wollaston recreational facility. That work will begin next Monday, October 17th. We expect it to take about a week. Following that, on October 24th, the new playground, the product has been ordered and delivered. They're looking to start construction on the installation of that new product October 24th. So for the next 2 weeks, Wollaston Recreation will see a fair amount of vendor activity, both for the parking lots as well as the playground. Commissioners should know we've been very active on the interview side of things. We've interviewed several CIO candidates, network administrator, and upcoming fiscal specialists. These hires, as you know, are all approved in our budget. I should have some updates on each of these positions within the next week or so. An announcement to most county employees and other users of our our network. Mark McDonald informs me Office 365 will be cut over to users, excluding the registry, on October 21st. This should present a relatively seamless transition. Users should not see any change in the performance or use of the device, but this gives us an updated version of Office 365 to use going forward. Next Tuesday afternoon, I'm scheduled to meet with Scott Lopez virtually with our partners from the State Department of Capital Asset Management regarding Quincy District Court. I've had several conversations with Heidi Green. I believe the state is going to be revealing to us their understanding what the value is for that property. We'll have some conversations about the value in the next steps involving public meetings at this meeting as well. I think I've mentioned to the commissioners before, they're following, I think it's chapter 70. We're following chapter 32, and I can't remember the other one, might be 34. There's some disparity on the public notice side, so we want to schedule the most inclusive process for public notice on these proceedings. We'll be bringing that up next Tuesday afternoon with our partners. Commissioner Shea, I don't mean to just take any of your thunder, but if this was not on your radar, just an announcement that this Sunday would be the dedication of Dedham Superior Court to former Congressman and former District Attorney Lynn.
Well, I can tell you that plans are being finalized today and over the weekend, so everyone is invited. I look at the crystal ball. It's supposed to be a lovely day, so if you're not busy at 12:30, 1:15 on Sunday, come down to the center here and you can participate in the unveiling of the plaque, and there'll be some speeches and there'll be a collation afterwards. So we have been working on this for a couple of months. I know that it originally passed a number of years ago, but I guess between COVID and a few things, it fell through the cracks, but we're ready to go. I talked to Director McGowan today, and I'll be seeing him later today. The new sign is undercover here on the corner, but it'll be unveiled on Sunday, and it'll be a great day, hopefully, and another step forward. Thank you.
Sure. An update for the commissioners regarding the employee handbook. As you probably know, we've got two processes going on right now. One's for our internal control and one is for our employee handbook updates. Last week, Michelle and I had a virtual meeting with the vendor, the Collins Group, to discuss the progress on updating our handbook. The Collins Group has shared with the county, I believe it's about 5 to 10 additional policies that were not part of our index prior. Our hope is that once the Collins Group incorporates these additional policies into our larger handbook layout, we will have a final draft available for the commissioners to review. I sent along a brief timeline associated with each of these steps to the commissioners via email. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. But as we trend right now, I'm expecting to have a final handbook approved sometime after the new year. Excuse me.
And when they're approved, they'll be distributed to every employee, correct?
They will, and it will also be available on our intranet. That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me. Last Wednesday evening, I had the pleasure of meeting with advisory board member Peter Padula and members of the Franklin Council. At their invitation, we presented updates on the county, Norfolk County activities, the various services we provide. The council was very gracious. There are 9 of them in total. A lot of questions, primarily about ARPA. They were very grateful for the program. Town administrator, town manager, Jamie Heller explained to the councilors how impressed he's been with the progress the county's made with this program and how effective it has been for the town of Franklin. I received a very favorable email from Jamie the following morning, how grateful he was that we showed up and how the councilors all expressed their gratitude for the Q&A. I will tell you, Peter Padula is a rock star in Franklin. He worked the room like a pro, and they all want him to become a counselor again. So it was great sitting next to him. The commissioners, I think, should be very happy with our partners in Franklin right now. Things are going quite well. I did send along my remarks, so if the commissioners have any questions about what was said to them or any details surrounding that, feel free to reach me. But overall, a very nice meeting. Let's see. Just a reminder for those listening, there is a trustee meeting at the Aggie tonight. I believe it is 6 o'clock. And then finally, Commissioner Stady, I think about 2 months ago, brought up the item that the county ought to look at more energy efficient options for our various facilities, including our trial courts. And I'd mentioned that we were going to reach out to the state trial court facility people first as a means to understand what they're promoting for both energy conservation, green energy solutions, as well as improved heating, ventilation, and air conditioning solutions. I sent an email requesting that meeting in the next 2 weeks to Chuck O'Brien last week, hoping to have that in the next month or so at his leisure. I've invited him to Dedham so he can see the improvements we've made at Dedham Superior Court. I don't think he's been to Superior Court yet, but I will definitely follow up with the commissioners based on the content of the meeting and what direction is most sensible for us to head. That's my updates, Commissioner. Thank you.
Great.
Any questions of Director Cronin?
Nice job, John.
Thank you.
Good job, John.
Number 17. Emergency topics or any other items that the chair did not reasonably anticipate would be discussed. We outlined our calendar. I have none. Commissioners, if we're ready to go, I'll have
Yeah.
it.
Just real quick, Mr. Chairman, I noted while I was away, obviously,
Commissioner
a
Stady.
couple of decisions came in, legal decisions were rendered.
Oh, yes.
Might be appropriate to have counsel in to talk about the effect of that, or what, maybe the next meeting.
I think it is. He was
He's on trial.
on trial. I don't know if that trial's over.
It is not. It's still going on.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
He anticipated it was a 3-week trial, so
Okay.
he might be out of commission for a bit.
Okay,
But we will reach out and get an update because we're coming up on our vote of the 26th.
what about the ability legally to discuss that ourselves? Don't we have to request executive session? So could that be placed on next week's agenda?
Sure.
Just to have some kind of, again, not being here last week, I wanted to kind of get.
Well,
some thoughts.
why don't we, I think it's a wise suggestion. I mean, we don't have to go into executive session, but we should put it on there.
Okay,
And then if he can't make it or says no, we'll go right by it.
just a thought.
Okay.
So, we can't do it today, but there were 2 different cases and
Correct.
both have a bearing, so that's not just my thought. That's all. That was it. Oh, John has his hand up. John?
To that point, Commissioner Stady, just a reminder, you will have executive session next week to discuss collective bargaining matters with the Register of Deeds. So we can add an executive session based on Scott's availability. I'll check, but I think as Commissioner Collins indicated, that may not be as soon as next week. But
Two reasons. Then.
Okay. All right, great.
I'll let you know what his
Can't be here.
availability is.
All
And
right.
then just another reminder, on October 26th, which is 2 weeks from today, you will have members of the Norfolk County Retirement Board before you to discuss a recent vote relative to retiree benefits. So that's coming up in 2 weeks, just looking ahead. That will be, let's see, Treasurer Bellotti, Advisory Board Member Michael Boynton, and Advisory Board Member Paul Connors. I believe a member of the Retirement Board may be coming, but I'm not
He's
sure.
now represented. That's correct.
Thank you.
Okay, last call. Anything
More work
else?
coming up. That's it.
Oh, a motion to adjourn, please.
Dedication, I thought was at 12 o'clock. Now I'm hearing 12:30, Sunday. You're cutting out
The
that.
printed invitation said 12, but
Yeah,
the church service is at 11, so they didn't realize that till after they sent it out. So we're hedging a little. It
right.
won't be happening. It won't be, I mean, come at 12 if it's a
Yeah.
nice day.
yeah, all right.
It will be the people setting up, but
Okay,
it's pushed off a little.
sounds good. All right. Thank you. Oops.
Speaking of it, all right.
I move we adjourn at 1:58.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.